guy here needs to watch out.
Oh, big nades! Oh, big nades! The result!
Hello and welcome to our coverage of the Halo 5 Pro Series. I'm Sharzy1 and joining me today is Mr. Wes in the clutch price. Wes, good to see you.
It's good to be here. It's early over on my side of the earth, but I got some coffee in me. Ready to watch some EU Halo. It's been a minute since I've gotten to see some of these guys play, see where the scene's at, kind of see how players have evolved. That Halo 5 meta. You know, I watch a ton of North American meta. And it's going to be super interesting to see if the EU scene is kind of kept up with what the North American scene is. So it's just like a lot of these young guns that were semi-pro amateur players back in 2018. Now they're at the near the top, and they're all spring jumping. They're all flying around, and it feels like almost everybody's Shotzi at this point.
Absolutely. Well, up first, we've got losers round 4. This is actually the punch your ticket to next week's grand final. So a lot on the line here. Scary Hours is our first team as the blue seed. Sunrise, Cruise, Icon, and Spa. And then we've got Sauce, which Precision Knight, Lunny, Mista, and Shabby Dagger. Any names jump off the page there for you, Wes?
Yeah, I think the second team obviously is a well-known EU roster, right? I mean, Precision Knight. I mean, he plays a ton in the EA or in the esports arena tournaments. You got Lonnie, who's FFA god. He's done his thing as an individual. All those guys actually stick out, and I think had some success in fours throughout their little run so far in their Halo career. So this is one of the better EU teams, I would assume. Having not much knowledge of the scene, understanding that Shabby Dagger is somebody that I know I've seen put on highlight reels before. So a lot of individual skill, it seems like, on the second team. I'm assuming they're going to be a heavy favorite for this series. The first team probably has their hands full with this one.
Yep, Scary Hours, no doubt, be looking to try and cause a bit of an upset, but Sauce will have ideas of maybe pushing towards that top 4. If we have a look at the maps, it wouldn't be a cup if we didn't get Oddball game 1. So Oddball, Echelon, thank you again. Great Red Shift. You hate me, and I hate you now. Slayer on Plaza will be game 2. CTF Coliseum, game 3. And if we need it, we'll head over to Strongholds on Eden and Slayer on the Rig. I'm looking forward to getting into it. Is there anything that you want to see from these two teams on Oddball, Echelon in particular here, Wes?
Yeah, I think it's all about it's all about camo and rocket control, right? Like, if you control those, you probably are going to be able to dictate the pace of the game, outslay your opponents, come away with a few multi-kills and extend the lead or gain a lead for your team. You really want to see how well these teams are at setting up, how well they are at playing the ball at the right time. I know it's ironic I bring it up, but you can be punished if you don't do it correctly, right? So hopefully people have learned from my mistakes in the past, and we're able to see some good objective efficiency and control for teams, even when it means they're losing control. Like, how do they subside the damage that the other team is going to be able to do now that their setup is broken because they're able to put the ball in a great situation or whatnot.
Now, Wes, you've been in this position before when you need to win a series to make it to the next stage, to punch your ticket to a grand finals or to a finals next week. If you're Scary Hours and you're a bit of the underdog here and you have such caliber of players across the way from you as Lundy, Precision Knight, Shabby Dagger, and Mista, what can you do to try and get the edge?
I think being an underdog is always an advantage, to be honest, because there's no pressure on you. You're able to play a little bit looser. At times it can be intimidating, but if you put in the time and you're individually confident, and the rest of your team is, you can always create an upset. There's a reason why we play the series. I used to say it back when I was a player that anybody could win a best of 5, especially when there's 2 Slayers in the mix. You got to get one objective, potentially 2 Slayers, and you can beat even the #1 team in the world, right? You just got to have the right plays. Everybody's got to be on. You got to be focused, and the practice is going to pay off.
Yeah, and with this team, Sauce, their last game, they went to a best of 5. They were playing against Gorgana Vaccine, our second seeded team, and they pushed them all the way to a game 5. Slayer regret. It was 50-49. They just lost out by that 1 kill. Is there a potential here for them to bounce back and maybe take another running shot at that Gorgana Vaccine if they make it that far?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I said, these guys are notable EU players. They're going to be a strong team. When you go to a game 5 and you lose 50-49, you run through every situation throughout that series in your head of what you could have done to make that one kill happen, to make that difference in the series. You definitely want to get your shot back at that team. Maybe it came down to game types even, right? Like maybe you get a better set of game types for your team and you find yourselves having an easier series than the one you just did. Obviously, losing by 1 kill in game 5, you guys are neck and neck. You want revenge. The road to revenge starts here.
Yep, absolutely. They'll be looking to maybe just push aside this Scary Hours team. And like we say, Scary Hours is going to be a complete underdog and looking to cause some sort of an upset. And with game 2, going to be Slayer on Plaza. And of course, Coliseum, one of my favorite game types on the Capture the Flag. Slayer Plaza, it can go many ways, and anybody can win a Slayer, we always say.
Yeah, I think it's all about momentum in Halo 5, especially. You get a team on the right spawn trap, you get them split spawning, you're able to take 1 kill, 2 kills, turn it into 6, 7, 8. Can keep control of the map. Don't give away free deaths. Make them work for their deaths. And most of all, focus on your teamwork and the power-ups coming up. And obviously, you want the snipe in somebody's hands.
Yeah, and if you are Scary Hours, you want to really, if you're going to lose game 1, you want to make sure that you get yourself back on top and win game 2. Because if you lose game 2 as well, then you're on the road to a clean sweep. We're just about to jump into it. So before we get to the Slayer, before we get to the CTF on Coliseum, we have got Oddball. And like Wes said, it's all about controlling that camouflage and getting those rockets and trying to get as much ball time as you can. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Sauce bounce back after that game 5 loss. No doubt their nose will be a little bit out of joint and they'll be looking to get back into it. But on the other side of things, I'd like to see Icon maintain that impressive form that he had last week. He played out of his skin, out of his mind. So I'd like to see him stay cracked, stay locked. And if he can perform well in this series, that might open some doors for him come next week if we have any dropouts. So be good to see him maintain that impressive start. We have Sunrise, of course, as well. But Shabby Dagger and Lunny, who came back last week and done absolutely impeccably. He managed to go all the way almost. Anyway, he made it to top 4. So it'd be good to see him back in the mix, back in the hot seat, ready to game. And here we are, Oddball Echelon. Not one of my favorite game types, not one of my favorite maps, it has to be said. But all differences aside, we're going to jump on board now with Casey Lunny. And he's going to head straight towards that camouflage. Of course, spawns up every 2 minutes, puts a couple of shots into AG Spa, takes him down. That's a quick burn for Spa. Is that a good play in your mind, Wes? He goes, gets the burn, but he pays the price with his life.
Yeah, you want to see him have a little bit more awareness and carefulness towards someone coming from the Pelican. But right now, it's already amounted to Lonnie going for the ball, right? And so now he's got the kill. He burned Camo, got that off the map. It's a great play if you're the team that's a better team to get the power-ups and the power weapons off the map and just leave it to the teamwork and the pistols that are at hand. It looks like that's what Lonnie's decided to do. Right now he's kind of surrounded though, so he's lost his teammates. Gonna actually get comboed there too, so unfortunate for him, but he tried to make the right play right there. He wasn't able to play the ball. We'll see if anybody on the blue team is able to rack it up right now though.
Icon tried to do as best as he could. 2 of his teammates fell at the worst possible time. That ball did not get played throughout that entire engagement. And now we're seeing the guys on Sauce rack up some more points. And already we're seeing Scary Hours just drop off the pace a little bit. They need to maintain some sort of control in this game if they're going to cause an upset. Not going to see another camouflage for a minute or so as we're on board here towards this Pelican area for the boys on Scary Hours and on the board with Sauce, or on board with, sorry, with Spa. As the ball just spawns back up and he's going to see if he can maybe put some time down, put some shots now into Mista, takes him down but also falls. He pays the price. He hits the black screen and now ball over towards Shabby Dagger and the boys again. We're not going to see camouflage for another 30 seconds, Wes. I'd like to see them set up here.
Absolutely. Right now we're seeing some back and forth, but the score obviously in the favor of Sauce right now. I want to see if we can get Scary Hours a little bit objective time and have them be a little bit more focused, because we saw them win a few 1v1s there, and still we saw Sauce racking up the ball time throughout this entire process. If that continues, this game could get out of hand early.
Now camouflage will be popping any minute. Spa will have an exact time on it, but so too will Lunny, because he was the one who's seen the burn. Icon gets a rocket kill on the Lunny as he pushes towards that ball carrier. Just Dipsy Doodles gets himself out of dodge, does that ball carrier, and Icon's in tow in hot pursuit trying to take down Mista, which he does finally. Shabby Dagger in a 1v1 now with Icon. Can he? Oh, he's almost gotten his ankles broken there. Great movement, Wes.
snapped. Absolutely snapped. The wrist could need a doctor at this point. That was a beautiful thrust to win that fight. And with it, I think he's going to reward his team some ball time. Absolutely. You win your one-on-ones. That's going to be pivotal to getting the objective done. You saw it right there. That was a beautiful thrust back. What allows Halo 5 to be so special to me is individuals can express themselves in those one-on-one combats.
Yeah, and that one thrust meant that Precision Knight now has the camouflage, and he's just baiting that ball carrier, putting him on the end of a fishing rod, gets the backpack on the Sunrise. Precision Knight now 1 kill down. That's 2 members fall for Scary Hours, and they're in big trouble as the points just continue to rack, and we're just over the halfway point now, as they only need 70-odd points left.
Yeah, absolutely, and that double kill is going to obviously help his team rack up more ball time. Beautiful job by them. I want to see if Scary Hours can slow this down for just a second and use a little bit of teamwork to break this setup. When your opponent is holding onto the ball, you're in a 4v3 situation until he drops it. You need to use those numbers to your advantage. It doesn't look like Scary Hours is going to be able to implement that kind of a strategy with how well Sauce is playing.
Yeah, it appears as though they're playing a little bit disjointed here, Wes. Not able to get on the same page, not able to sing off the same hymn sheet. What would you say if you're coming off the respawn to your team to try to get yourself back into this?
You got to figure a way out to slow the game down, right? Right now, we're watching Scary Hours' point of view. The game is so fast-paced. When that's happening, that means it's so difficult for your team to work together. You're consistently playing a 3v4 because someone's always dead. You got to figure it out, and you don't have much time to do it. Right now, it's looking like we could potentially be going to a quick game, too.
Yep, at the moment, Sauce just really dictating the pace of the game, and Scary Hours unable to keep up. We're going to see another camouflage now, of course, as well. Precision Knight going to have that time exactly nailed down. Shabby Dagger has the ball, and he starts to rotate towards that Pelican area. Lunny has actually popped that camo into his chest, but it has now been burned as Cruz takes him down. Importantly here, for Scary Hours, they have rockets, but they may only have 1 left.
Yeah, and you wanted to see them get rockets and camo, because right now when you're down by over 100 seconds, you have to have that kind of a power swing in order to try and mount some kind of a comeback. Rockets are probably not going to be able to get the job done in Halo 5, or even on Echelon Ball. There's just not a ton you can do with them, as we see multiple players drop. I think that's all 4 dead right now. Precision Knight picking up the last one. Teammates going to get the ball. They already know. Look at Precision Knight, knowing where they're going to spawn, already on the hunt, looking for a few more kills before this game. It actually loses that one-on-one. That can be a confidence builder going into game 2, but I have a feeling we'll be there very shortly.
There very shortly is right. There's only 10 seconds left on the clock, and the ball carrier just keeps on eluding this Scary Hours roster. That ball is finally being played, but they only need 6 seconds now. It's really a matter of when and not if the boys on Sauce take this to a game 2 now, as Icon throws down a few nades, but only really in anger as he gets into a 1v1 now with Shabby Dagger out in that Pelican area. Somehow Shabby Dagger, even though Icon had that head glitch, managed to get the kill, Wes. That is not what you need to see.
And that's Shabby Dagger one-on-one from everything I've seen from Shabby Dagger, right? The kid has an unbelievable shot. Still figuring out how to play 4v4 at the maximum efficiency, but when you have the skill, it makes your life a whole lot easier.
And just like that, game 1 heads the way of the red team. Sauce, Precision Knight, Lunny missed it, and Shabby Dagger looking very, very good there. Is there anything in the stats that maybe implicates that this Scary Hours team have a chance come Slayer on Plaza here, Wes?
Yeah, that was a lopsided game, right? And I don't know much about Scary Hours. I don't want to just judge them off the one echelon ball game I've watched, but this Sauce team I know, right? The Sauce team, Precision Knight, Lunny, Shabby Dagger, those guys are all renowned Halo pros. So it's going to be very difficult for me to think that Scary Hours is going to keep up with them in almost any game after watching such a lopsided affair. If they're going to do it at all, it's probably going to be in the Slayer.
Yep, and something that's really important to notice there, Shabby Dagger had 95 seconds of ball time and 1,200 damage. Icon on the other side had no ball time and only 1,200 damage as well. So that can just show he had the ball for almost the entire game there, Wes, and still managed to put down the same damage output as someone on the opposite side. Yeah,
when you look at stats like that, you got to look at the initial score of the game before ever trying to piece that together, right? It was a blowout. So everyone on one team is going to go negative. Everyone on Sauce should have gone positive or had some good objective time, right? That's what happens when it's 100 and when you beat a team by 150 to 10, right? We're hopping on board Plaza Slayer. There's a battle for Overshield right now, and it looks like it's believe it got burned right now. But Sauce already in control of the snipe. This is bad news Bears.
Yeah, bad news Bears indeed. His overshield was burned, and much like the game on the oddball game on Echelon, the team Scary Hours opted to try and burn the power up immediately as opposed to try and getting away and playing their life. This time it was Icon who decided to jump over there, burn that overshield, and if you're Sauce here, Wes, you'll take that all day long. If you want to sacrifice your life, we'll keep taking those kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Great teamwork so far out of Sauce too, right? Like, we're not having to see this player do too much with Snipe at this time because the teamwork was there. They pushed together, they cleared out Loop, and now it looks like they have the setup they want. Unfortunately, he's going to be caught off guard by the Soda Stairs, and this could be a huge moment for Scary Hours.
Scary Hours in a little bit of trouble now. Still up by 5 kills, though, it must be said. Precision Knight dies at the hands of Sunrise there. Missed it. Fall, gets a kill on the opposite side to Icon. He pummels him to the grave. And now Shabby Dagger actually backwhacks, gets payback on Sunrise now. A snipe rifle in the hands of Missed It. We should jump over there and see what he can do. Can he find some faces here?
Yeah, this is one of the few players I haven't had an opportunity to watch on this team much. So I'm excited to see is he as good as the rest of them. Unfortunately, he kind of gets taken down in a little bit of a loop push from Scary Hours there. We haven't seen too much success with the snipe. I wouldn't be surprised if that story changes, knowing that whenever I watch EU Halo, I feel like someone's always popping off with the snipe.
Yep, normally it's a German. You see your speeds, you see your Kimbos. They're no strangers to the snipe rifle. Now it's Missed It again. I was almost going to say you want to see more Missed It, and then he dies in Tram Loop, so you're not going to get your wish, but he's come off the respawn. He's told his teammates, feels confident to take that snipe rifle, and we'll see why very shortly as he finds the body of Cruz. He's now out of ammo, but does get the clean up there, all importantly, into a 1v1 with Icon, but I'd like to see him back down there, Wes.
Good body shots, though, right? I think he did enough damage to subside any push that Scary Hours was going to throw. Allowed his team some time to respawn. So, although it wasn't the flashiest snipe plays, like those body shots mean something. They slowed the enemy team down. They don't allow collapse, and he stops the ability for them to snowball the first couple of kills they got into some map control and some momentum.
25-13 the score, make that 26. They're up by double the kills, and it's almost the exact same story we see in the oddball. Utter domination on the side of Sauce, and Scary Hours just unable to match the pace stride for stride here with the boys. Precision Knight, Lunny and Mist and Shabby Dagger, they've got their attentions already towards losers round 5, and of course if they win this best of 5 they are punching their ticket to next week's tournament, and they're looking as though, barring a miracle here, Wes, they're going to be there next week.
Yeah, I think we need more of a miracle, and they actually might need me to join up in the lobby and play 5v4 next game to try and compete. I don't know how much help I'm going to be because I hadn't played Halo 5 in a little bit, but I think a 5v4, we might be able to apply some pressure, make some of these games close. But even then, I mean, this team, like I said at the start, I know the guys on Sauce. I understand how individually talented they are, and they're displaying that right in front of us.
Something you mentioned earlier on is how the snipe rifle hasn't really been effective in the game, and that story is coming through again, as we've seen Shabby Dagger had the snipe rifle and he fell before he was able to get comfortable with it, before he could get himself settled. What is the reasoning for that? They're not able to plant their feet and start finding some shots.
Yeah, it doesn't look like either team is really being able to have a great setup and have complete map control the way we see some of the top teams do it when the likes of Frosty and Renegade have snipe, and they're kind of free to do what they want with it. I think that there's still a lot left to be learned from some of these teams on how to control snipe and how to go off with it, rather than just expecting your player to hit some unbelievable shots, right? Like, creating the space for Royal 2 to go off with snipe is such an important aspect of what Tox does in order to have success.
That's something that's not touched upon as well, as Precision Knight picks up the overshield, and that should be the writing on the wall. It's not something that's talked about. Obviously, we watch Royal 2 doing all the snipes, hitting all those faces. Nobody ever talks about how with the rest of his team make it possible, enable him to be in those positions, Wes.
Yeah, when he's able to sit back and not get too much pressure on him and not have to worry about hitting a nice no-scope or a quick-scope on some guy shooting him, he's able to take angles and hit the first shot and have that advantage. That's all the Snakebite and Frosty and Lethals of the world, creating that space on the map, creating distractions so that Royal 2 can figure out the rest with the angles that he's taking. That's what makes him so special, is that he can read those situations so perfectly, as well as when he needs to, he hits the no-scopes.
Yep, no doubt. It's always good to have the no-scope in your back pocket. Shabby Dagger, not finding the faces, but he does pick up a killing spree, finding the bodies and then getting the cleanups with the pistol. A couple of bullets left in the magazine as well, so that can do some damage. Only 2 kills left required now for Sauce to really wrap this up. And there it is. Mister gets himself a double kill, a 5 onto Sunrise, and a clean up onto Icon. And that will send us into Game 3, CTF Coliseum. And like we said, this series looking like a clean sweep right off the bat, Wes.
Yeah, and this is great for Sauce. And if you're a Sauce fan out there and you want to see them get back and have another opportunity at revenge, have an opportunity to win some of this whole thing, I think that when I look at this roster, like these guys can compete with some of the best in EU. They're playing very well so far throughout these 2 games. I understand that their competition might not be to the standard of the best in EU, but you need to beat the bad teams in a stat like in with like exclamation points, I'd say, in order to build that confidence and show that when it's time to play against the good teams or the great teams, we go toe to toe. We can make it a 50-49 game. Right. I think that there was always something to the teams I was on that whenever we would play like top 12 or the top 8 teams and we would 3-0 them and everything, like when we have control, what do we do with it? Are we efficient? Are we 3-0ing people on pit when we have snipes, both snipes and rockets? Are we ending games the way we should end them? Like practicing are basically perfecting our games. And I think that that's something that Sauce can use these kind of series to do.
Yeah, it's good to see Sauce remaining professional, not taking the mick, making sure that they get the kills they are required. Of course, they confirmed that Slayer with a steak dinner as well, so that is impressive. But nonetheless, these players are playing against are no bad players whatsoever. As we jump on board Icon and everybody, just bodies hitting the floor now as they're trying to get control of the power weapons here, Wes.
Yeah, we got Shabby with the snipe right now, and he's on a great position. Does have a player below him. And I think he knows that there's a player by him. I think they just happen to have terrible timing with each other. Does get the player to no shield, but he's going to actually run back towards his fountain. Shabby is in a tough position. Does land a body shot on that no-scope. Going to get pressured and throws the snipe off the map. So no highlight reel, but a good decision overall to burn the snipe ammo. Understand that I'm the last guy alive on my team. I'm under a lot of pressure. I got to get out of this situation and make sure I don't give them snipe. That's even a veteran play by Shabby. Unfortunately, right now, Scary Hours has great control of the map, it looks like. The 3 goes down. Unfortunately, Icon going to be the last guy. Does lose that one-on-one elbow side, and now we're seeing some battle for Catwalk.
Scary Hours showing signs of life, and that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see these games go to Game 5, Game 4. We want to see close run things as Sunrise falls. Lunny and Mist to get a double kill. Flag is now out and on the move. He's with some force now from Spa. Spa does get taken down, but not before killing the flag carrier. And they're going to move this flag towards the snipe side. We're more used to seeing them heading towards the rocket side, Wes. The meta has developed a little bit where teams decide to go towards trenches, and it's a really quick run.
Good defense by Scary Hours right there, right now, right? If you're going to come back in the series, you're already down 2-0. You got nothing to lose at this point. Let's have a strong CTF Coliseum game. It's the textbook Halo 5 game, in my opinion. Everybody's been playing this for so long. Everybody understands the strategies. Right now, we're seeing Scary Hours have a lot of control and actually run a flag of their own.
Running the flag. Flag is out towards bottom middle. Rockets, though, in the hands of Mist as he takes down Spa, but Sunrise does get the kill. No rockets left in the chamber there as Mista falls to the death screen. Flag, though, is back home, it seems. Nobody really able to maintain that dominance, that map control, and this is what you want to see when you see Scary Hours taking control, Wes. They need to start turning that into flag caps and some equity.
Yeah, they were in such a great opportunity right there, and for it to not amount to an objective score was their lack of ability to get the players that were respawning and contain them and figure out a way to punch that flag in. They're going to struggle, you can see right now, with the cohesiveness of the team, and is everybody on the same page once we get the flagpole, what everyone's doing, what everyone's watching, are we able to establish the amount of pressure we need off the player spawns? Because right there, if a top team in the world has that kind of a control over an enemy's base, they're transitioning that into a cap. Unfortunately, Scary Hours wasn't able to do that because they might not have the strategies as a team down pat yet, and because of it, the game is still tied up 0-0. You need to be able to capitalize on those moments.
This is the thing when you see the best players playing against the best players. When they do put you under pressure and they have the advantage, they make sure they push home and they step on the gas and keep the foot on the back of the neck of their opponents, and they make sure they do confirm flag caps. And just like that, a cap has gone in, but unfortunately for Scary Hours, it's gone the way of Sauce. And after so much control, the first time this Sauce team got a chance, Wes, they turn it into a cap.
didn't even look like Sauce really had to have complete control to be able to do that, like all 4 dead. I don't think at any point there was all 4 dead for Scary Hours. Great job by Sauce to figure out a way to efficiently get the objective done while swaying individually. We see Shabby Dagger still being aggressive in the enemy team base. Unfortunately, he's taken down, but right now Scary Hours extremely on the defensive side, and you're down 1-0 already.
Sunrise with the sniper rifle, only 1 bullet left. We're seeing a lot of people find bodies, and that's just enough to back that player down, but not enough to send him to the respawn screen as he gets in the 1v1, make that a 2v1 as Lunny and Shabby Dagger, a combination of the two, take down Sunrise. That's 3 dead now momentarily. So that's the guys over on Scary Hours. They're in big trouble of us conceding another flag cap here.
It's Scary Hours time right now, right? They got to figure out a way to not go down 2-0 in the series, because I do not believe that they're capable. There is an overextender in the base. The Rocket player hasn't come back with the flag, but now he's deciding to. He might have a perfect flank. He finds 1 in the window. He's got his teammates all there. Looks to be 3 dead. Make it 4. Oh, the flag does get pulled in the window, though, so this could be an opportunity. That player goes down, and look at Shabby already deciding to be aggressive. He's not satisfied with just that 2nd cap. He wants the 3rd, and he's showing that he's willing to put pressure as fast as possible on these players, force their hand, and unfortunately, he loses that 1-on-1 because that could have been the game right there.
That's what I want to talk to you about, Wes, is that we've seen Shabby Dagger set up towards that catwalk area with the rockets in his hand. It looks as though he put a lot of faith in his team to secure that flag cap. And was he hanging around on that catwalk area to maybe push the envelope to go back-to-back there?
Yeah, it looked like he definitely wanted to continue the snowball and continue the pressure, which is in Halo 5 the correct play, right? You always want to be applying pressure. You want to create chaos for your opponents, always keep 1 dead. A little bit of an overextension. He got the 1st kill, almost got the 2nd. If he hits a little bit better shots there, he picks 2 and probably ran the 3rd and final cap. It's risk reward, and I like the fact that he's willing to risk it to try and make that play for his team potentially in this game in the series.
Gotta risk it for the biscuit as Mist is set up towards top rockets. Looks as though we're going to see Sauce secure another set of rockets, another set of power weapons. That was much the story where there's power weapons and power ups. It seems as though Sauce have the answers every single time. It's going to be 4 dead now for Scary Hours momentarily, and all the power weapons and all the marbles in the court of Sauce as they try to get a push here. Missed it, and Shabby Dagger take down 2 members again of this Scary Hours team. Flag is on the move. It's already over the halfway point. It's flying all the way home. And it looks as though Scary Hours have given up the goose, and that is it. 3-0 in the game, 3-0 in the series, and just like that, we're heading to the next round.
Absolutely. Great game by Sauce. Great series by Sauce. They did what they needed to do. You want to see a little bit more crisp shots, but it's still on their run through this bracket, right? Like on their run through this losers bracket, they have an opportunity to warm up, get their confidence back from the series they lost in winners. You know it was a close one. You know they want revenge. So it'll be an exciting opportunity for them to continue this run, maybe create some momentum behind it, and a 3-0 is the best way to start that off.
There is confirmation of that 3-0. Oddball, Flags and Slayers, it's all gone the way of this Sauce team. And if you're Scary Hours, Wes, you're a little bit disappointed. You were 1 series away from punching your ticket to next Sunday and playing for some money. And players like Icon and Spa, they've been there and done that before, and they'll be bitterly disappointed with that result.
Yeah, with disappointment comes motivation, or it should. If you're a player that is going to have success, it should motivate you, right? Falling short of your goals, falling short of your expectations, it is terrible in the moment, but it's something that should keep you up at night, something that should be the reason you get on the next day, the reason you want to improve, right? If you really want to take that next step, you have to figure out a way for it to fuel you to have success, because everyone's had failures. Michael Jordan didn't play in the finals of every NBA playoffs that he played in, right? You can go throughout multiple Halo players' careers. Some of them got knocked out in the AM bracket before they ever went pro. I know Maniac got knocked out in an AM bracket one tournament in Halo 3, and it was incredible. And then he wins a national championship. Like, there's a reason why things happen. You weren't ready to be there this weekend. That doesn't mean that you can't be there in the future, or that it can't fuel you to become something even greater than you are today.
Yeah, and of course, Wes mentions Michael Jordan. It's time for these scary hours roster to take this personally and make sure they fuel it and they come back again even stronger. That's going to be us for losers round 4. We're going to take a short break as we get the next round all lined up. We get the lobby ready to go. We'll see you very shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Impossible normalement, les 15.
Ouais. Frère, t'as un V? Non, il y a combien de joueurs dans la partie?
Tu en es
En
16.
tout.
Regarde, les 15 ils jouent pas là.
Frère, t'es tout seul.
Ouais, là je suis tout seul à jouer. Pas trop de
Frère, c'est impossible.
Ouais, vraiment. C'est impossible, gros.
Ouais, gros, t'es dans